I'm Simon King.
And I'm Millie. We were part of a 5-day intensive film course which was delivered by Screen South in partnership with BFI, and the BFI is the British Film Institute.
On our first day we got to know everyone closely, and we did an activity where we was each given a flip video camera, and we had an hour to make any sort of film, documentary, anything we would like. And I personally made a documentary about a duck, which was quite interesting, and yeah, this helped everyone get to know each other, and it was just get a feel of just everything around the location of Mason Studios.
We also talked about we had to come prepared with different film ideas because on day 4 we would be making our own film, so we had to be sort of prepared with that. So day 2, we came in and we got the chance to meet with a sort of professional called Paul Dixon, who showed us the different types of camera equipment that we could work with, and we did a group filming activity which I got to direct, which was really fun for the first time, and Simon and lovely Louis, who isn't actually here today, they were both acting, and Sam was acting in our group, and that was sort of the first time we got to experience that. And then we were given our roles in the main task, which would be our main production we would make.
And whilst we did the whole activity, Paul Dixon gave us some certain equipment which we was able to use to recreate this film for the day, and it was just great because we was able to get a feel of like what professional equipment looks like and the whole setup of just creating the film. So yeah. Day 3 is when we started planning the ideas. We decided which 2 films, which was Deja Vu and Mirror Image, and this is when we started get put into chosen groups, which was 2 groups of 9, because there was 18 of us, and each of us got set roles. I was made the first AD/production manager, and Millie was the director.
Director of the same production, Deja Vu.
Yeah, and we had Paul Andrew Williams help us out, and he is an independent filmmaker, and he's wrote his own films and directed them. Some
London films he's sort of have done would be London to Brighton, which was his first main feature, which put him on the map for filmmaking.
So he was able to help us like plan and prepare our films together to professional standards, and was able to get help from everyone at BFI, so it was really great.
So day 4 was actual production. When we began filming, each of our groups, Mirror Image and Deja Vu, went to our own separate locations within Mason Studios. And how we did this was we came in and we had props, and prior to filming we had to do major preparations. So we had to create prop lists, and my first AD, Simon, and I had to talk to our producer, Henry Tonkin, about how we would go about it. So we had to get the script finished, and we would come in
and we did most of it between our day 3 and 4, where we spent like the week just communicating with everyone in our group of 9, just talking about like certain areas which we need to improve. Like I had to do a call sheet, so sort about all the contacts we had to get involved with. I had to organise where we'd be at what time, and it was really hard because at times because we fell a bit behind track on time, but then areas which we thought would be slow were actually a lot faster, so I was able to gain time again.
Yeah, and with the help of specialist Nick Morris, who is a director of photography, he helped me through the day and sort of guided me as to where it might be best to shoot for the scenes in our short film. So that's that.
And for our next day 5, we're going to show you short.
Or should I say 2?
You've got to be kidding me.
Madam, come on, man.
Where were you last night?
What?
I'd assume that you of all people would know where this is going.
This is a footage we actually made on day 2, but it's been put on the wrong day. But
Don't know how that happened.
well, this is when we spent the whole day with I think this was Paul. We was with Paul, and we had specialist equipment and was just trying out all the cameras, the lighting, and was just able to just get a feel of how it's like in the working environment.
Yes, day 5 we also did, so that was on day 2 when we did the task, the introduction task. But day 5 we were doing post-production, so that was after we had shot the film. We had to edit it with our editor, and Millie is actually here today. And we created a poster and we talked about marketing, so we had to consider our audience and who would receive our film if it was to go into commercial advertising.
And we also worked closely with Millie, so he's designed what our front cover of Deja Vu would look like, which we'll show you right at the end. And yeah, just in the 5th day we just had to sort of do all the final touches to our film, just make sure everything was right and sorting out the budgeting, making sure that we didn't go over budget.
Yes, that was very fun. Also, we got a 6th bonus day which we did not necessarily have to go to, which was a trip to Pinewood Studios, which for me was very exciting because I'd never been before. And in that day we talked to specialists from the film industry, and we were shown sort of different specialist equipment. So.
And we got shown around different studios, like we went to the 007 studio, which was gigantic. We wasn't able to find you a picture of it, but we was able to have a picture of all 18 of us from BFI. So
it's a memorable moment.
Yes.
They got to talk about sort of the history of their success when we spoke to them, and just generally how they climbed the ladder to get to the position they are in today. And finally we got sort of shown around. We got to go to the green screen, which is a massive screen outside, and it can either be like the blue screen or the green screen, and there's like an outside tank where they can film things. I know they did Skyfall outside, and because obviously they have the James Bond stage there, and inside they had an indoor tank as well.
And so with there's lots of specialists which we was able to talk to, and they could just tell us, sort of advise us where we could go in different areas. Like I want to be a cinematographer, and I got advice to like become a runner, a different place of like work experience. And so like at the moment I'm working as a cameraman for GPS, which is a Danish TV program, which I'm going over to soon. And just because I didn't really realise I could become like a runner. Different areas like that, I thought you had to do it for uni, but it's kind of changed my idea of how I'm going to go about my future.
Yeah, the BFI has opened up a lot of opportunities for us for work experience and things like that, so it's always good. Okay, so our film is called Deja Vu, written by Lawrence Sedgwick, who's sitting over there. I directed it, and we were given, each of our teams were given a budget of £300. I think we only spent about £55 or something.
Yeah, it's £55.
And that, if you read it, it's the brief storyline, which we will show you Deja Vu later, but we can't give too much away. So if you want to take a minute just to review.
It's fine, I'll read it out. Unlucky Luke brings about the early demise of a young Casey, but death himself gives him another chance to set his injustice right. But can both ever be saved?
Yeah, so it's quite a sort of mystery film. So that was ours.
Yep. This is our roles. I was set as the first AD production manager, which is assistant director. So I was closely working with Millie, the director, and Henry as the production manager. So I was the one going back and forth doing the organisational side of things and making sure the cast and the crew were all happy in their roles and like what they were doing, and just making sure everything went smoothly and well.
Yeah. And the director, of course, sort of is slightly under the producer, so the director's role in all productions is to make sure that they are the creative side. So I took creative control of the shoot. I would advise and sort of overlook the crew with my help of my first AD, who would guide me along to do with timings and just sort of had to push me along. We did start to get a bit out of time towards the end, but Simon had to make sure I was budging along because we were hovering over a really difficult scene, but we got it done in the end. So.
Yeah. What's the next slide?
Yeah. Okay. So.
This is our front cover of our short, Deja Vu.
It's yes, our main actor.
And this was edited by Mary, who isn't here. Any questions?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That is it. Goodbye.
Oh, okay, yeah, any questions? Hello.
Same question as Pete. What's your favourite films and why?
That's always a difficult one, isn't it?
I'm just going to go with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
This is just because I just watched it when I was young and I love Peter Jackson as a director, and I think the way he portrays the trilogy is just really great, and I've just always had a great interest in Lord of the Rings, so that's kind of why.
Yeah, for me, it always changes. There's no definite sort of decision you can make. But currently, I've seen a few films this year, and my favourite director would probably have to be Baz Luhrmann right now because I just went to see The Great Gatsby, and I'm a big fan of his films. But ultimately, I like to look back to the past, so I like the works of Woody Allen and people like that, and I also love the film Pearl Harbor, strangely. I always have to watch that sort of whenever I'm feeling down. I like to watch that film. So yeah, I don't know why, don't ask, but yeah, that's those are my kind of top choices.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Joe.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a coughing over your but first AD,
Yeah.
what do you think were the sort of two really important things that you learned as first AD?
Well, its organisation is definitely one of the biggest factors, and beforehand I was very disorganised, but then I kind of realised how important in the filming industry how organisation is extremely important, because like when you said earlier, when we was doing certain shots we started falling behind on time, but then you had to sort of be more organised and be strict and slowly prompt them along, and just so we managed to get back on track and eventually sorted out the film. And
Simon was like guiding us a lot of the time, even though that's kind of like what the director does, but you had to sort of guide all of us. Yeah.
And how did you communicate on set?
Communicate on set. Before we started filming, sometimes I'd go up to the actors, make sure they're clear and understanding what they know. Sometimes I would bring over the scripts, make sure that they understand what they're saying, and sometimes go to the production manager and talk to him and see if he's been clear to everyone, and same with Millie, make sure they've been clear to everyone, just so everyone understands what they're doing next and when they're doing it, just to keep everything as quick as possible and work as efficiently as well.
And how did you draw everybody in?
I tend to talk to people in small groups, just because I always found that Henry and Millie would always be talking to sort of like the side near the sort of camera end, and I'd just go around to people individually, just because it was easier sort of that way. Just I'm not sure why, but it was. So I just found it just quite helpful just to talk to people in small groups, just because otherwise if there's lots of people you get easily distracted. So I just thought, yeah.
I think Edward has a question.
What do you believe is the most important thing that you've both achieved through the academy?
Well, I think just sort of it's the self-confidence thing. We gained an awful lot of, before I came here I was really I was quite shy, and I never thought I'd be able to pull off my own, this is my first film, so I'm very proud of it, no matter sort of how bad it might come across, I'm not sure, but this was a chance to meet new people and just really get out there and just start with what you want to do. And I want to be a director, I want to write my own things, so this was a really good team effort. We all did really well.
And for me, I found it really great just getting understanding and experiencing what it's like professional sort of filming atmospheres, and just with that I learned like multiple areas, like I didn't understand like the position of like a Foley, which is like sound. So if there was like a horse walking down the road, they would have like a microphone and then some hooves and just do the sound and edit that in. It's just different areas that I didn't understand beforehand or didn't know about, and it just widened my understanding and made me want to be in the media industry even more. So that's why.
Any more questions? Henry?
How's it like working with a team of people that you just met a few weeks ago?
Actually, I don't know if you want to say anything.
It
It was easy.
Yeah.
I think the first day we all got there and we were all so nervous, and I think it was Lawrence that actually was the most chatty out of all of us.
Yeah.
He just really.
I didn't think you'd guys cheer up.
You just know that you really made us settled, and we all got to know each other on the first day. And by the second day, we were like, "Hi, how are you?" And by the end of it, we were all just really good friends, and we did not want to leave. And I remember we were sort of Facebooking each other, just being like, "Oh, I don't want to leave," and you know, it was easy.
And I found like the small group activities. I found just like the first day when we was doing like the flip video cameras, we got put into random groups. So then it's just like able to just talk to them, just make more friends. And then obviously the next day we went back. We did everyone worked into one short film, like recreating the clip. I think it was, I can't remember what it's called, but but I just found that really really helpful just to get to know everyone and just get on and it was really well.
I don't think, you know, if I had been with you guys, I don't think I would have had the confidence to sort of, you know, do this.